Yes, iceberg's the name.
Hi.
You're so pretty. Oh my god.
Oh, you too, girl. I wish I had your braids in right now.
Girl, listen. These things are coming out ASAP. Do you hear me?
Uh,
How are you? How are you staying sane during the quarantine?
Honestly, like I'm such a homebody as it
Mhm.
is. Like this really hasn't been bothering me. I've just been like chilling, to be honest.
Oh wait, so are you introverted?
um, not not really though, because like when I'm around people, I'm like really
Mhm.
talkative. But I do enjoy to be home and be in like my own space.
Okay, see, I'm like that too because I feel like I like to stay home and like sometimes you just need that distance if you are
Mhm.
extremely extroverted. You just got to be away from people sometimes. Yes. So, for the people who aren't familiar with you, I would love for you to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, of course. So I am Kelese. I'm a singer from Minnesota. I just started singing like a year and a half ago, so I'm
Mhm.
fairly new to the industry. And I turn 20 next month. You know, Taurus gang.
I think you're part of my. I think you're part of my Earth sign. If I'm not, I think you're part of the
I
Virgo
am.
squad. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I
And
am.
so, do you still live in Minnesota?
Yeah, like before all this happened, I was traveling from here to Atlanta like every other month, like every other 2 months.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of bored right now. I'm not gonna cap.
what What is there to do in Minnesota? Like, what is there to do?
Mm, in the summertime, there's more because like we got like all these lakes, and then
Hmm.
like we got a lot of rooftop parties and like like outdoorsy stuff. But
Hmm.
during the winter time, nobody leave the crib, like for real. Like nobody leave the crib.
So, do you feel as though, like, you being a growing artist, do you feel as though you might have to transition out of LA to kind of, just evolve or anything like that?
I mean, I'm open to anything really.
Hmm.
Like I never used to be a go with the flow type of person, but
Hmm.
like ever since I started seriously doing music, I've tend to start to be more of a go, like hit the flow, because I always feel like when I would force stuff or like like be like I have to do this on this day, do that, it just never
Hmm.
worked out that way. So yeah.
I also want to ask you, like, who are your musical influences growing up?
Oh, for sure, Erica Badu and Jill Scott and like Neo Soul for sure. Like Neo Soul is like my heart with music for sure.
Hmm. You know what? I can tell that you have like a neo soul kind of vibe because when I listened to your song, I was like, "Oh, her voice is powerful. You got a powerful voice on you." So
Thank you.
I was definitely like, "Okay, yeah, I can see some soul."
But thank you. I don't take that compliment lightly, because
Mhm.
like that's one thing I've had to really learn, is to like my voice and like
Mhm.
learn to love it and not feel so insecure about my voice, which I'm
Mhm.
still learning to do that
Mhm.
for sure. But
Mhm.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. And is there anyone in your family that has a musical background, or you just have the only one that's really into music in your family?
No, so my dad has done music for like ever.
Mhm.
He's a rapper, so that's actually how I started to like know about music, and
Mhm.
that's how I started to make my own, and like um engineer my own stuff too is because he has like a home studio. So I learned how to do all that through him.
Wow. How long did it take you to learn engineering?
I mean, I've always watched him and like
Mm-hmm.
would ask him little questions, but to like really do it on my own, I would say like a few months.
Oh wow, so you have an advantage because you know how to actually work the
Yeah.
studio. So you don't really need you don't need the whole team.
No, my first time being at a professional studio was when I was in Atlanta in
Mm-hmm.
August. That was like my very first time being in like a professional studio, like somebody else doing something for me, which was really hard to get used to at first, for sure. Because
Mm-hmm.
I like to have control of everything.
Oh yeah, I could probably see you like watching them, like, oh, what
Nah, like,
you doing?
yo, I be looking down their back, but though at the same time too, like I'm still learning. So like
Mm-hmm.
I like and like they know more than I do for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like me like watching over them, see like what they doing, like yo, like how you doing.
Yeah.
It's just like so I could learn too more, you know.
Mm-hmm. And how did singing come about for you?
So I So it's a little story. When I
Mm-hmm.
was 4, we had like a little fair here, like a fair. You know, like well, we got a lot of fairs, but we had a fair, and I was with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and they had like a little stage with like karaoke and stuff, and I was, Dad, Daniel, like I want to go up there and sing, and he was like, "You sure?" Like it's a lot of people up here. I was like, yeah, yeah. So me, little 4 years old, went on stage and sung Alicia Keys, and like I really didn't take singing seriously though until like
Uh-huh.
almost, yeah, like I was super young, and like I didn't really take it seriously until like the past year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, because I just, it wasn't something that I felt like I could do, because I felt like there's so many singers, like there's so
Yeah.
many, great artists, and I just didn't feel like I had what it takes to like do it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of things had happened, and like I was like, okay, it kind of felt like it was my only choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know like with creatives that could be that I feel like that could be the thing that sets us, and it's kind of like you kind of get discouraged because you're like, there's like a billion good singers, like what is going to separate me, like what's going to set me apart from everybody else? How do you feel like, well, what would you say sets you apart from other artists?
My authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in it for the right reasons, and I feel like I have what a lot of artists don't have, and that's like being able to be like having a naturalness of you and not like doing what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like my mindset is for longevity instead of having a hit, or just like having like a check off a few hits. Like
Yeah.
I like it's all about longevity for me.
And as you're growing as an artist, what are some things that you're learning?
Oh, in terms of like music wise or the
Music
industry?
wise, industry wise, just the whole thing. You can just go
So
ahead and just.
much. Like, yeah, so musically, I'm learning just like like song structure and just like writing and just like, oh man, this is a hard question, low key. and just like how to make a song with confidence and knowing that it's like going to be a good song and not second guessing. Like just like I used to second guess all the time, and like I'm learning that I can't do that or I won't get nothing done. The industry wise, baby,
Oh, and
it
oops.
is so political. It is so political. It's so like you have to be so tedious with everything. Like you have to be so careful. It's like walking on hot rocks. It's like with your words, like you just can't do certain things. You can't say certain things that as a normal person you could do, but as an artist you can't do that because you know if you're in the light of everybody else, and like you really can't have an opinion, which is something I'm working on because I can kind of be really opinionated.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to shut my mouth.
And that's hard, especially when you're just super blunt and you just want to say
Yeah.
whatever. But no, yeah. So, do you ever feel like extremely overwhelmed with trying to learn all this stuff as an artist?
No, because if I'm not learning anything, I feel like I'm not doing anything. Like, what's the point? Like I like learning things because I like to see me be like the best version of me I can possibly be. Like that's what I strive. Like when I make music, it's like you want to make the best song. Like it's just like if you're not evolving, then there's no point. You know? What's up, Europe? Europe in the building.
Hey, Europe girl. I also wanted to ask you, where do you think your niche would be in the R&B world? From like alternative R&B or like neo soul or just soul period?
Yeah, I definitely want to make a subgenre of neo soul because you know now you can't really make neo soul like that because you know everybody want hard 808s and you know so but what makes neo soul is the chords and the way about that you go the song. So I definitely feel like soul music will be my niche because that's what I like want to do. That's what I like feel the most. And I feel like R&B is a little poppy now.
Yeah, so that's where the alternative R&B comes in, and I actually interviewed an alternative artist, and we talked about like the difference between that, and I feel as though like the neo soul is so like you feel it in your soul, like there's no better way to explain it, but you feel it in your soul. And I also feel as though alternative R&B is like the stuff that we go through like everyday life. It's like everyday millennial stuff that we go through. It's like that. So as I was saying, like as I was listening to your music, you definitely that soul is there. It's all in your voice.
Thank you. And I really just started singing seriously. So like there's so much I have to learn about my voice and like how to control it in certain ways and just how to make it the best that it can be. So I feel like with that too, you just make like better music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say are some things that that you feel people misconstrued about R&B?
People say R&B is a dying genre.
I was really praying that you said that because we can elaborate. We can elaborate on that a lot because I disagree.
I mean, people say that it's a dying genre, but I feel like that's because R&B is starting to become more pop. It's starting to be, I mean, but pop is popular music too.
Yeah.
But I feel like pop is more like upbeat than R&B is. which now there's starting to be a lot of upbeat R&B, like, for instance, Chris Brown. He makes pop R&B. So I just feel like there's just more genres now than just R&B.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really feel like it's a dying genre. I just feel like there's more subcategories of R&B now.
You hit it right on the nail. And just to elaborate on what you said, also, I don't think people are actually looking, like searching for new artists. It's everybody that's hot. And of course, everybody that's hot is the new, like you said, the pop wave. So it's just the simple fact that, like I was saying, I definitely agree with what you said. And to add on, I don't feel like people are actually putting in the time to search these new artists, because when I do hear like R&B is dead, I'm like, where? Because I find new R&B artists every day. I find new R&B artists and they're bomb. So I definitely don't agree with the whole R&B thing either.
And two, now we're fighting with bots. We're fighting with machines now. So it's even harder to get known because labels got these machines that's just got everybody in your face. So it's, and on top of that, it's just so many artists now. Like, it's hard to know everybody.
And like adding on to, like, you know how you said like Chris Brown, how he's on the pop wave. When do you think it's time for, or do you actually agree and think that it should be time for an artist to switch up their sound, or do you feel like an artist should stay true to how they sounded originally, no matter what other people are telling them to do?
I feel like as an artist, you're going to evolve. And if you're not evolving no more, then you kind of have to like rethink continuing doing music, because it's like you're, as a person, you're going to change. Your mindsets will change the more that you go through things and experience things. So therefore their music should change with them. And I just feel like that should just be like as a growth thing, not like, oh, they made 2 projects, so they should switch it up. It just solely depends on, one, the fan base, what your fans saying, like, yo, bro, like, we tired of this sound. Or 2, like, just like the artist and them changing as a person, because I'm not the type to separate music and the person.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's the person making the music. I mean, of course, unless it's they got like writers and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a different story.
And I do want to say, like, when we listened to your music, we was at like a little function, so I heard it and I was like, dang, she sounds good. Like, she sounds amazing.
Aww.
And I was really curious to know, what does your studio sessions look like? Like, are you meditating before you go in and record? Like, how does that work for you?
So I try to meditate, like, not at the studio, but my mind goes 5,000 miles an hour and it never shuts up. So I can't really do that. But I definitely bring a candle. Because, you know, gotta set the mood. Oh, I like it dark. Like, it will be dark and the only light is the candle and the computer screen.
Really?
Yeah. Or like some lights, like some red, blue, purple lights around.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you know. And then yeah, it's I don't like a lot of light for some reason. Like, I'm just very like, I like it just me, Europe, and the engineer. Because if it's so many people, which, you know, like, it has been though where it wasn't just them and I was cool. But I just hate when I got so many like people saying, oh, you should change, you should do that, 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 you should do that. Like, it just becomes loud. And then at that point I can't think.
I feel
So,
like that would be very nerve-wracking, like
oh my
extremely
gosh, it's the
nerve-wracking.
worst. Like I've made the worst music off of that for sure.
Really?
Oh, for sure, because it's like at that point, I don't even want to record no more, bro. Just take me home.
Get me out of here. Get me all the
Yeah,
way out of here.
because
Oh
like that
my
just gives
god.
me anxiety. Like it's
Mhm.
not helping my music. Like
Mhm.
it's okay if you want to help me, but like I don't need 10 other people in the room,
Mhm.
because then it gets too loud.
Yeah, too loud, too many distractions.
Exactly.
And I want to get into your recent, you dropped 3 singles
Hmm.
recently. I've heard all of them, of course. Um, if you don't mind, could you talk me through the process of those three? So, and the names and the whole nine with those.
Yeah. So my first one I dropped personal. Um. Oh man. So some random dude sent me that beat, and personal, a random sent me that beat.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, this is kind of nice. So I'm at Europe's crib, and
Mhm.
I'm writing, and so we go to the studio, and this is when I met, like, my friend Lule,
Mhm.
and he's a really good writer. Like, he's crazy. So I'm in the studio, and I was getting stuck. And this was one of the times where it was like too many people in the studio, and I
Yeah.
just shut down. Like,
Mhm.
it was at the point where I just shut down, and I wasn't really trying no more because I
Mhm.
was just like, yo, this is too much. So then Lule was like, yo, I'll help you write it, whatever. So I had everything written except for, which was the last thing that you heard me say?
You said that the hook, well, the last part of the hook.
Yeah, so I had written the verse, and then at this point I just shut down. So I
Mhm.
didn't have the hook and like a last verse. So Lule helped me write that. And then for the cover art for that, I had like a photo shoot
Mhm.
at Camp Kirk Studios. So that's when I did
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So actually, all the ones I did there at that studio,
Mhm.
and then I recorded that song in like September of last year.
Mhm.
So I was holding on to it for a little bit,
Mhm.
and then Betterlude. Honestly, I'm trying to think of who. Okay, yeah. So then, who made that beat was my other homie, Hollywood Cole.
Mhm.
He's fire. And that song, I wrote everything except for the yeah, the yeah part, which
Mhm.
Lule helped me write that part because I was shutting down. I,
Mhm.
I was over it. And he really helped me a lot. Like Lule was really helping me a lot
Mhm.
because it was a new environment. It was a lot of pressure. It was just a lot going on,
Mhm.
and Lule was really helping with that. And then Take Me, I wrote that whole song by myself.
Mhm.
Cole again made that beat, and I think I literally most of the songs I wrote at Europe's house. Like,
Yeah.
Europe house is the spot to write songs. Like, she
Okay,
had this
Europe, I'm
little
coming.
porch. She has this little porch. It's a vibe. She got plants.
Mm-hmm.
You know. It's a vibe, and I had wrote that song because I was feeling like the person I was talking to at that time, I just feel like they didn't understand what I needed from them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that song is definitely a song I wrote about a thing that I was going through,
Yeah.
for sure. Which is probably why
Now,
that's my favorite song.
I have another question. So after you explain all this, I have another question. I've always wondered how people write their songs. I've always wondered how people write their songs. Like, is it just the first words that you hear on the top of your head and then you have to find a part that rhymes, or how exactly does that work?
So for me, I'll hear a beat. It depends on how much I feel the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Because some beat is like it's taking everything out of me to get a melody, write lyrics, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
some beats, it's like it just flows out. Like a lot of times, I'll sing like a melody first, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
put words. But sometimes I can just freestyle, and it's just good. But that's just because of how much I like the beat.
Mm-hmm.
It totally depends. Like I feel like a lot of artists don't give produce because they be carrying, like producers be carrying artists for sure. Like a lot of
Oh yeah,
songs
for
start
sure.
with the beat. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know a lot that just write without the beat,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. What's your favorite song?
Out of Birlude, Personal, or Take Me?
For sure, Take Me,
Mm-hmm.
because I always write songs that I wrote from
Mm-hmm.
top to bottom, and that song's definitely just more personal for me
Mm.
because I was really writing my feelings, for sure, and I be in my feelings, for sure. I be in my feelings.
Earth signs.
For sure. And like sometimes, and I'm just learning how to write my feelings because it's like a lot of times I just be feeling so much and I just don't know how to write it. Like I just don't know how to explain it. So it's
Mm.
something that I'm learning how to do.
Now, what artist would you say you would collaborate with in the future?
Oh, Tinashe.
Mm. I can see that.
Because so I get this nickname, Baby Thug, because I be liking hard, like dark beats,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like soft. So, and Tinashe she definitely has that vibe. I feel like we would go good on the song.
Really?
And she's a good writer too.
Mm-hmm.
She's a
And a
good
lot of
writer.
people don't give Tinashe her credit
Enough
either.
credit!
I've listened to some of her stuff and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I don't know why people be sleep on her. I have no idea.
Because, like, I don't know why either. She got everything. She
Everything.
got the looks.
Mm-hmm.
She has the pen. She has the voice. Like, she has everything. Like, seriously. And she has worked with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, real, like, higher ups of the industry. Like,
Yeah.
they sleep.
And would you ever do a collab with Summer Walker? Because I can see that happening.
I mean, to be honest, I'm never going to, like, be like, I'm not gonna work with somebody
Mm-hmm.
because I look at that as an opportunity to learn from somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or just to find something else in myself that I wouldn't have found by myself.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense, because I feel like everybody that you meet will kind of like give you something to look at yourself.
Yeah.
And be like, how can I do this better? Or like, just learning. I'm always wanting to learn, especially with music. That's something I really like to do, is learn more about music.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I'm super tempted to ask you to sing because your voice is so beautiful. But if you not feeling today, you don't have to. But if you want to, I'm listening. Like, I'm here.
what should I sing? Every time I get asked this, I do not know what to sing. And it's sad because I should really have a song that'd be like, I'll sing this. But I know so many songs.
What is a song that is matching your mood right now?
Child, half the time I don't even be knowing what I put my food. I just be here.
Let's
I just
see.
be here. I could sing. How about you give me a song?
Oh, God, I'm the most indecisive person ever.
Me
Like,
too.
okay, could you do Brent Fayez?
What song?
What song by him do you know? Like, you could just sing it.
That's another problem. Like all the songs, I don't be knowing all the lyrics.
The
It's
lyrics.
horrible.
What about one of your songs?
Okay, I could
Let's do
sing,
it.
or I'll sing "Better Luke" because I haven't sung that one yet. All right. If you think we're playing these games, then you are going insane. Watch how I give you this brain, then you know I'm about it. Watch how your feelings just flow. Got you wanting some more. The kitchen, are we on the floor? I guarantee I'm about it. About it. Yeah, I'm done talking about it. I'm stuck in your head. You wanna move to my bed? She can't do nothing that I can't do, babe. When I'm in my element, I can't do magic. Yeah, please don't come my way. If you wanna stay, you can be my baby. Yeah. Come hop in my bed, give you medicine, and show you what you're missing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, show you what you're missing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Need you here in my. And I'm not really saying any words after that.
Girl, hold on. I know I'm gonna go ahead and put the heart emojis, the fire emojis, like, yes, we are here for this. We are here for it. We are here
Cute.
for it. Your voice sounds so natural and just so unique. Like, it sounds absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I'm still getting used to like singing. Like with somebody, I sing some. I'll be like,
Yes, I cannot wait to see you grow in the industry. Like, I cannot wait for you to take off. Do you hear me?
oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And before we wrap up the interview, I do want to ask if you have any advice for up and coming artists.
If you gotta think about it, like, like I just feel like it's not going to be easy,
Mm-hmm.
and there's gonna be a lot of like bumps in the road that kind of feel like, wow, like this is the end of my career. Like, like just don't quit. Like, because a lot of things in this industry will make you want to quit. Right, and a lot of it is just like the politics, and it's just like the egos, and you know, like it's a lot of that. So just don't quit. Be authentic, because just as fast as you were popping, is just as fast as you'll leave.
Facts.
So you know, be patient. Be patient.
Yay! Well, it was so nice interviewing you. Like, I loved it. I love it here.
Not facts. Facts. Everybody say, "Oh my gosh, I hate it here, man."
I love it here.
Y'all need to be careful with your words.
And where can we stream your music?
All platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. You know, whatever you got, it's there. And spell my name Kelese. I know that be like a struggle for everybody. It'd be a struggle for real.
Yeah, I was like, God, please don't let me mispronounce her name, because I know I saw the E at the end, and I'm like, hold on, let me not. I think the E is definitely silent.
Yeah.
Well, you take care during this quarantine. It was absolutely amazing interviewing you.
I hope to meet you in person.
Oh, girl, we linking up. It's gonna be real. All right. Well, you take care of these during this quarantine. Please stay safe. Okay.
You too.
We need that voice. We need all of that. So we need you to stay safe. We need you to stay healthy. Like,
for real, you too. It's crazy out here.
But you're gonna do absolutely big things. Like, no doubt. No doubt.